All, I am Kumar Reddy, teaching final year subject utilization of electrical energy. This is a part 6 video, and previous one is part 5. Okay, we are going through part 5 for easy explanation, easy understand, quick through. Sorry, we are reviewing part 5 quickly. Part 5 quickly. Okay, this is the Ward-Leonard method. Ward-Leonard method. This Ward-Leonard method basically works on a voltage control method. Okay, basically works on a voltage control method. Okay, at any point, that means at any speed, this can be obtained for any speed. For any speed, this method is used. Okay, for any type of speed, this method can be used, like fine speeds also. What are fine speeds? Fine speeds means 1 2 3, that is 3 rpm, like 10 rpm, 11 rpm, 12 rpm, 13 rpm, and so on. These are called fine speeds. Okay, general speeds range is 600, 650, 700, 750, this like. Okay, fine speeds means small speeds, like 610, 611, 612, etc. Okay, these are called fine speeds. For that fine speeds also, these Ward-Leonard method can be used. Okay, Ward-Leonard method can be used. These Ward-Leonard method is of two types. First one is a DC type, and second one is a AC type. Okay, this is the left hand side is the diagram of DC, and right side is the diagram of AC. Next, this is the diagram of DC. Okay, here left side is a normal diagram, and this one is a exam point of view diagram. Okay, in this one we have a motor generator set, and these M1 is the main motor. These M1 is the main motor, and this motor has a separately excited field, and this generator has a separately excited field, and this motor has a separately excited field. Okay, this M1 motor field is a constant one, and this M2 motor is also a constant one. Whereas for this generator, okay, for this generator we have a rheostat. Okay, variable rheostat. That means we can vary the field current. Okay, this is a rheostat. Okay, this is the rheostat. That means this field can be varied using this rheostat. Okay, when this field is varying, the speed of the generator can be varied, and with the help of this generator, this motor M1, this is the main motor, we can control this motor. Okay, for this generator, input is given through mechanical energy, using a M2 motor. Okay, always this motor generator set should be in a same direction. If it is in another direction, using this reverse switch. Okay, using this reverse switch, we can change the direction of the motor. Okay, this is the speed control using a voltage regulator. This is the voltage generation, adjustable voltage generation. That means it is a voltage control method. This is a voltage control method. Generally, these Ward Leonard method is widely used in industries. Okay. Next, this is the Ward Leonard method for AC. Okay, this is the Ward Leonard method for AC. Here also we have three machines. Okay, three machines, two generators, two motors and one generator. This is the diagram. This is the exam point of view diagram. Okay, here motor is this M2 motor is connected to supply, AC supply, and here it is the generator motor set. Previously in DC, these two are the sets. Okay, previously in DC, these two are the set. Okay, but in AC, these two are the set. Okay, these two are the set. This is called a converter set. Okay, this is called a converter set. Generator and a motor. This M1 is the main motor, and this main motor is a separately excited motor, and generator is a separately excited generator, and this motor is excited with supply, AC supply, and if any starting problems are there, then it is mounted on a then EE, an exciter. An exciter is placed on the shaft. This dotted line is called a shaft. Okay. Next, this is the rheostat. This is the rheostat, and this is also a rheostat. Okay. Here, motor M1 is a constant field, and a generator is connected with a variable field, and this motor is with a rheostat. Rheostat means when starting current is very high, using this rheostat, we can reduce the starting current. That means this is like a starter. Okay, this is like a starter. Next, these generator and motor set always runs in a same direction. If it runs in a different direction, using this RS switch. Okay, this is the reverse switch. Using this reverse switch, the direction can be changed. Okay, and these motor main field is connected to this exciter. Okay, and excitation is given. Okay, next, using this rheostat, speed is varied. Using this rheostat, speed is varied. Okay, and input energy, input is given through motor M2. These motor may be synchronous motor or induction motor. Okay, and this is the exciter. Okay, next, booster speed control. Booster speed control, this is also a speed control having a three missions. Okay, mission 1, mission 2, and a mission 3. This is the main mission, and a booster. Here booster is the generator. Okay, booster is the generator, and is connected to booster motor. Okay, this is the motor. Okay, motor, and this is the generator. This booster has a booster motor field, and this has a booster field. That means this is the generator field, and this is the motor field. Okay, this is the main field. This is the main motor, and it is called a motor feeder. Okay, motor feeder, and this is the motor field. Okay, here generator speed is controlled with the help of parallel adjustable rheostat. Okay, parallel adjustable rheostats. Okay, that means we can vary the speed using two rheostats. Okay, two rheostats, this speed is adjusted, and using this one, is connected, and these generator is connected to motor feeder. Okay, and using this generator, this motor can be controlled. Okay, this is about the booster speed control. Next one is a constant current motor. Constant current motor, here we have only two machines. Here we have only two machines. This is a motor generator set. This is a motor generator set, whereas this main motor, on the shaft of main motor, this generator is connected. Okay, on the shaft of this main motor, okay, this motor generator is connected, and it is called a regulating machine. Okay, here generator is called a regulating machine, and this is the regulating machine field. Okay, this is the field, this is the field of this generator. Okay, and to control the speed, we are using two rheostat. We are using two rheostat. One is connected in a positive direction, and second one is connected in a negative direction. Okay, this is connected in a negative direction. Okay, and say it can be adjusted from both sides. Okay, it can be adjusted from the both sides. This is the resistance, this is the resistance, or it may be load. Next, these are the characteristics of constant current. Whenever whenever graphs are in this direction, whenever graphs are in this direction, are straight lines. Okay, straight lines, these are the best characteristics. Okay, this is the ideal characteristics, that is the straight lines. Okay, these are graphs almost straight lines. Okay, these are the graphs almost straight lines. That then these are called best characteristics. Okay, best characteristics in a speed torque characteristics. Next one, here we completed fourth part. Okay, fourth part, this is not in the syllabus. And next one is mechanical considerations. Mechanical considerations, there are mechanical considerations. These are the types of mechanical considerations. Types of enclosures, types of bearings, types of transmission drives, noise channel. Okay, this is not included in before, now it is included. This is a small topic, noise level. Okay, see here in previous slide, in mechanical considerations only four are there. Okay, four are there, but here we added one extra consideration, that is noise level. Okay, noise level, small topic. And next one is heat and cooling time constant. Okay, in this topic, this is the most important topic. Okay, and this is called temperature rise. Okay, in syllabus, this is called temperature rise. Temperature, main topic is temperature rise. In brackets, this is the topic. Okay, heating and cooling time constant of a motor. First one is types of enclosures. Types of enclosures means these are the enclosures. Okay, this is the motor, and this portion is the closing the motor. Okay, closing of motor is of 9 types. Okay, closing of motor of 9 types. First one is open type. Next one is a protected type, screen protected type, drift proof, slash proof, total enclosed with fan, pipe ventilation, flame proof. Okay, this is the open type. Generally sorry, generally these are classified on the basis of three factors. First one is dirt, second one is dust, and third one is foreign bodies. These are the three important factors while designing the enclosures of the motor. Okay, one may be protected from dirt, and another may be protected from dust, and another may be protected from foreign bodies, and another may be protected from dirt and dust, and another may be protected from dust and foreign, and another may be sorry, another may be protected from dirt, dust, and foreign. Okay, now first one is a open type. Open type has a pedals or a bracket type, and it cannot be protected from open dirt. It cannot be protected from dirt, dust, and foreign bodies, because it is a open type. Okay, in open type, it cannot be protected from dust, dirt, and foreign bodies. Generally these are large generators and large motors. Next one is protected type. In protected type, live or a rotating portion. Okay, live or a rotating parts. That means in live wires and rotating parts, at the rotating parts, these protected types are used, mostly used in industries. Next one is a screen protected type, protected from foreign bodies but not from dust and dust. Okay. Next, drip proof. Drip proof are the ventilations are protected by overhanging. Okay, these are overhanged. These are overhanged. Okay, to protect from a top direction. Okay, dust or dirt or foreign bodies to protect these three factors from top. These are connected to roof. Okay. Next, splash proof type. In splash proof type, drops or dust drops or dust particles are protected not less than 100 degrees. Okay, not less than 100 degrees. Okay, not less than 100 degrees. Okay, this is the direction. Okay, let's say this is the 0 degrees and it is 100 degrees. Okay, whenever rain falls from this direction, it can be protected from 100 degrees. Okay, beyond 100 degrees it cannot be protected. Up to 100 degrees it can be protected, so it is used in rains. Okay, total enclosed type. Total enclosed type, it is completely enclosed, but for cooling purpose we use only surface only. Okay. Next one, total enclosed type with fan. That means totally it is enclosed, but for cooling purpose here we are using fans. Okay, sawmills, floor mills, cement workers, etc. Pipe ventilated. For this pipe ventilated, for cooling purpose we are using air 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 ducts or pipes. Okay, for cooling purpose we are using air ducts or pipes. Okay, this heat is dissipated in difficulty. Here, here heat is dissipated very difficultly, but this speed is dissipated from air ducts and pipes. Okay, next, and next one is a flame proof type, and next one is a flame proof type. This is the proof type protected from flames, sparks, and explosion gases. Okay, that means in this production in this protected type, here gases are already inbuilt in the motor, which will avoid sparks and fires. Okay, whenever in motor small sparks and small fires are obtained, then it can be reduced using this special type of gas. Okay, and these are used at petroleum stations, collieries, and chemical plants. Next, types of bearings. There are two types of bearings: ball bearings and sleeve bearings. Okay, now this in this bearing, this outer portion is called journal, and this inner part is called bearing. Next, ball bearing. Ball bearing, these bearings are okay. From here we are today class is from here, part 6. Okay, from here we are discussing today topic. These bearings are supported to shaft by ball bearings to move. That means here shaft will be there, and this is the constant one, and this outer portion will be rotated. Okay. Next, anti-friction bearing. This is also called as a anti-friction bearing. Okay, these are used for 70 kilowatts and used for vertical shaft drives. Okay, vertical shaft drives. That means in this direction. Although initial cost is high, and space occupied is less, and long life. Okay, due to this long life and
హలో హలో కుమారెడ్డి గారు హలో
sir, చెప్పండి
అదే
చెప్పండి
ఒక
sir.
2 minutes ఒకసారి
Okay sir.
హలో మై డియర్ స్టూడెంట్స్ హూ ఈజ్ lateral entry 221 18 mh 50221 ఈజ్ దేర్ సార్ 221 అండి 221
సార్
221 you didn't give that Capgemini feedback. Please after this class give that Capgemini feedback అండి
సార్
Capgemini feedback అండి
అర్థం కావట్లేదు.
Capgemini feedback
Feedback.
ఎస్ హలో కుమార్ రెడ్డి గారు
సార్ చెప్పండి సార్.
అదే 3 మెంబర్స్ ఇవ్వలేదు సార్, ఒకసారి చెప్పండి, ఒకసారి నోట్ చేసుకోండి. 221
ఎస్ సార్.
అంటే ప్రిన్సిపల్ గారు క్లాస్ లో అడ్రస్ చేయమన్నారు అనమాట, అందుకని 221 లాటరల్ అంటే 221 224
224
225
225 సార్ 220 సార్
ముగ్గురు ఇవ్వలేదన్నమాట.
సార్ లేదు సార్, ఇందాక నేను 204 అయిపోయిందని చెప్పాను సార్, 225 కూడా అవ్వలేదు సార్.
225
అంటే ఇప్పటి వరకు ముగ్గురు ఇవ్వలేదండి. 221 224 225 వాళ్ళ ఆబ్సెంట్ అయితే ఒకసారి 12:30కి ఇంటిమేట్ చేయండి. ప్రస్తుతం ఈ మీటింగ్ లో అయితే 221 ఉన్నారు, ఆయన అయితే ఇచ్చేయచ్చు ఫీడ్బ్యాక్. ఈ 224 225 ఇందులో ఆబ్సెంట్ అనుకుంటా సార్. చూడండి కుమార్ రెడ్డి గారు ఒకసారి చెప్పండి.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి, థ్యాంక్
యూ.
ఓకే మనం క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం. ఓకే మనం క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం. నెక్స్ట్ బాల్ బేరింగ్స్. Ball bearings are also called anti-frictional bearings. Ball bearings are also called anti-frictional bearings. Used on these are used up to 75 kilowatts. These are used up to 75 kilowatts, and it is used in a vertical direction. Okay, next these are mostly used due to its less space and a long life, and also it's a maintenance cost. Okay, these are very occupied for a less space, long life, and a maintenance cost. Okay, not recommended for noiseless places. Okay, that means it makes more noise. Next one is a sleeve type. Okay, sleeve type, these are sleeve type are bush rings. Okay, sleeve types are bush rings. That means in these bearings, if these balls are removed, okay, if these balls are removed, only this outer part and inner part will be appeared. Okay, this is called a sleeve. See here in this diagram, there are no balls in between. Okay, and this is called a sleeve. Okay, sleeve type, and normally it is of a bronze type. Okay, normally it is of a bronze type, and it is supported at right angles to the shaft axis. Right angles to the shaft axis. That means if this is the shaft, and it can be connected in this direction. Okay, previously it is in vertical direction, but it is connected in a right angle direction. Okay, right angle direction. These are sintered or porous materials. Okay, these are constructed using, these are made up of sintered and porous materials. Sintered and porous materials. Next, maximum temperature is 50 degrees, and these are noiseless and vibration. Okay, noise is very low and vibration also very low. They are used at dangerous races. Okay, these are used at dangerous races. Next one is types of transmission for drives. Transmission means moving objects from one part to another part. Okay, moving objects from one part to another part. It may be around 500 meters. Okay, this length is 500 meters from one point to another point. These can be moved on a belt. Okay, using a belt. Okay, this is called a transmission for drives. Transmission for drive. Here drives are these 1 and 2 are called drives. Okay, these 1 and 2 are called drives. Okay, here one motor will be there like this. Okay, like this one motor will be there, and also another motor will be there. Okay, a belt will be arranged. This is called types of transmission for drives. Okay, there are different types of transmissions. First one is direct drive, belt drive. In this belt drive, flat drive and V-type drive. These are most commonly used. Okay, these are the most commonly used and also chain drive. Next one is a rope drive, chain drive, gear drive, vertical drive. Next, direct drive. From this diagram, you can say that it is a direct drive. That means it cannot have any belt. Okay, it cannot have any belt. It has only direct coupling. Okay, this is called mechanical coupling. Okay, this is called mechanical coupling. Generally we observed in motor generator sets. Okay, generally we observed in motor generator sets. Okay, it is indicated with hash. Mechanical coupling is directly indicated with hash. Okay, hence it is directly connected. It is simplest, less space, and 100% efficiency. Okay, both should be run. These are the advantages. As it is a mechanically coupled, these both devices has to run in same direction and in same speed. Okay, same speed and same direction. Okay, extra force will be applied if the end devices is centrifugal pumps. Okay, in this centrifugal pumps, if this is a centrifugal pump, if it is a centrifugal pump, then extra force will be applied on this motor. That is the disadvantage. Next is a belt type. Already in many industries and many places we see this belt type drive. Okay, belt type drive. Okay, next one is a V type drive. In our houses motor is there, no motor. Okay, for this motor pump sets, these belt is used. That means one is small and another is large. Okay, these are mostly used in household purpose. Next one, flat drive. Okay, these flat drive input and output are in same size and it will be flat. Okay, this belt is a flat. This belt is a flat, so that it is called a flat drive. Long distance drive with a limited degree of slope. Okay, limited degree of slope. Materials are hair, cotton, woolen, rubberized, nylon, and leather. Generally, leather are the cheapest one. Okay, leather are the cheapest one, and these are the most economical ones. Next one is advantages. Great flexibility in original design of a plant. Okay, great flexibility in original design of a plant. That means it has a more flexible when compared to other cotton, woolen, and rubberized. It is the most flexible, and also it is depends upon other types like direct drive. Okay, depends other drives like rope drive, chain drive, gear drive, and direct drive. These flat are more flexible ones. Okay, these are most flexible ones. Next one is these are the disadvantages and limitations. Distance between the drive should be four times the diameter of the large pulley. Okay, diameter of the large pulley. This is first pulley and this is the second pulley. The diameter of this large pulley is four times. Distance should be that four times. Example, this diameter has a 1 meter. Okay, that means the distance between these two pulleys should be 4 meters. Okay, that is the minimum equation. Next, minimum distance between pulley centers of the motors is 20 to 30 kilowatts and about 6 meters, and the ratio is 6 to 1, 6 is to 1 ratio. Okay, 6 is to 1 ratio. Next, due to friction, belt exerts a side pulley on the bearings. Okay, due to friction, belts exits. That means these belts may be slipped to one side. Okay, these belts may be slipped to one side. That is the disadvantages. Maximum power transferred by means of a belt is about to 150 kilowatts to 220 kilowatts. Okay, maximum is up to 220 kilowatts. It can be applied. More than that, these belts are out of order. Next, most economical speed found is between only 1000 and 1500 rpm. Beyond that, 1000 and 1500 minutes, meter per minutes. Okay, meter per minutes. Beyond that, it is not economical. Next one is V belt. V belt. These are the most commonly used in household purpose. Household purpose. It is a short center silencer and with a negligible speed. Okay, negligible slip. Already we know that what is the slip. Okay, next, motor rating up to 450 kilowatts. Motor rating is up to 450 kilowatts only. Next, power transfer depends upon the size and speed of the belt. Okay, power transfer depends upon the size and speed of the belt. Generally, speed is 2.5 to 25 meters per second. Next, drive design. Drive design should be arc of contact on a smaller pulleys, and this is between 90 degrees to 130 degrees. Okay, it is of 90 degrees to 130 degrees, and possible power is 12 kilowatts. And next one is a rope drive. Here, this is made up of a rope. Okay, this is made up of rope, hence it is called a rope drive. Okay, used for power ranges beyond the limits of V belt drive. Okay, V belt drive. V belt drive is the previous drive. Okay, this is up to 450 kilowatts. Okay, beyond that 450 kilowatts. Beyond that 450 kilowatts, greater than 450 kilowatts, these are used. Okay, it is the long center drive. It is the long center drive. Advantage, it is negligible slip and ability to take for sudden loads. Okay, it has the ability to take sudden loads. Nowadays these are used for small and medium. These are used for small and medium. Next one is chain drive. Chain drive, this is the most advanced drive. Generally these are used in bikes. Okay, these are mostly used in bikes. Through this chain drive, it is more costlier than belt drive and rope drive, but it is more efficient. Can be used up to high speeds of 7:1. Okay, this is the gear ratio, 7:1. Okay, that means it has a high speed. It can be used for 12 or more parallel shafts. Okay, that means in this drives we can put up to 12 parallel shafts. Okay, 12 parallel shafts. Next, used at damp and dirty conditions. Okay, at damp and dirty conditions, so we can use it. Okay, used for 900 meters per minute. This is the speed. Sorry, Here it is the chain drive. It is the chain drive. Next, gear drive. Gear drive, it is directly connected. See here, like a mechanical coupling. Here it is a directly connected. It is the short center positive drive. Okay, short center positive drive. Short center means the distance between two centers is very small when compared to other drives. It is very important to have a proper alignment. Proper alignment. That means these teeth, okay, these teeth and gaps should be exactly perfectly matched to this teeth and these gaps. Otherwise, this may broken quickly. The typical 35 kilo ohm gear with a speed of 15:1 will have the mechanical efficiency up to 98%. Up to 98%. Next one, the last one is a vertical drive. These are the vertical drives. Okay, this is the vertical drive. It is applied to a wheel. Okay, this is also vertical drive applied to wheel. Okay, motor is arranged in its axis. Okay, motor is arranged in its axis. Here axis is a vertical axis and it is frequently convenient. Next, noise level. This is the small topic. This is the new topic added. Okay, noise level. Noise level. Generally, noise is the, for noise units are decibels. For noise units are decibels. Okay, here bells is equal to 1 bell is equal to 1/10 of 1 bell is equal to 1 bell is equal to 10 decibels. 1 bell is equal to 10 decibels. Hence, 1 decibel is equal to 1/10th part of bell. Hence, bell is a larger unit and a decibel is a smaller unit. Okay, generally bell is not used here. Generally, decibels are used. Okay, decibels are used and these are used for logarithmic formulas. Okay, for calculating decibels or noise. Okay, for calculating noise, the equation is of logarithmic form. Okay, here W1, W2 are the watts and P22, P11 are the powers. And it is the differences in loudness. It is the difference in loudness. Temperature rise in electrical machine. This is the important topic in this mechanical considerations. Mechanical considerations and already we know that in a motor, okay, in a motor we have stator, rotor. Okay, next is stator, rotor, two parts. In stator we have iron. Okay, in rotor we have copper. In between stator and rotor we have mechanical considerations. Okay, hence here heat will be developed in all electrical machines. Okay, whenever current is given to the motor due to rotation. Okay, due to rotation and taking the electrical input, heat is developed. Okay, heat is developed. Hence, whenever motor is on, heat will be increased. Heat will increases. Hence, we consider two conditions: heating condition and a cooling condition. Okay, heating condition and a cooling condition. That means for one motor, up to which temperature it can be heated. After heating that motor using what method? That means what are the methods to reduce the heating of the motor? Okay, reduce the heating of the motor is called cooling. Okay, that means and heating of motor. Here heating of motor means up to which temperature it can be heated. Okay, hence copper losses in conductors. And to consider these heat, first of all we have to consider losses. What are the losses in this motor? Okay, losses are in conductors we have copper losses, hysteresis, eddy current losses and hysteresis losses in iron, mechanical losses due to friction and windage losses. And these are responsible for temperature rise, and temperature depends upon two factors: amount of heat produced, amount of heat dissipated. Okay, these are the two main factors okay, in a motor. First one is heat produced. Okay, whenever electrical supply is given, heat is produced and heat dissipated. Okay, these produced heat is shared to motor and outer surface of the motor. Okay, that means through air. Okay, through air. Heat dissipation. Heat dissipation is means going out from motor. Heat dissipation means going out of a motor. Here, heat dissipated for a 1 degree rise of surface of a machine. Machine means it may be generator or a motor. Next, according to Newton's law, according to Newton's law of cooling, the rate of loss of energy of a hot body is proportional to the difference in temperature between that body and its surroundings. Suppose this is the body. Okay, it says that rate of loss of energy. Suppose this object is heated and placed in a air medium. It is placed in a air medium. Then the energy loss from this object can be divided into two parts. And first one is difference in temperature and surrounding temperature. Okay, difference in temperature and surrounding temperature. This law is true for moderate temperature differences for body dissipated heat by radiation. Okay, in this point, these are the important points: radiation and natural convection. Okay, that means these object losing energy. Okay, losing energy to outside air. Okay, through radiation. It may be lost energy through radiation or nature of convection. Through radiation or nature of convection. Okay, from this here divided into two parts. First one is heating time constant and cooling time constant. There are two graphs. First graph is a heating graph. This is the heating graph, and next one is a cooling graph. This is the cooling graph. Okay, if these two graphs are merged on a single graph, then this is the graph. Okay, this is the graph, and this is heating curve and it is cooling curve. Again, it is a heating curve and a cooling curve. Heating curve and a cooling curve. Whenever T is on, okay, T is on, this is the curve, and T is off, this is the curve. Okay, again T on, T off, T on, T off. Okay, this is the graph, and here this is the first derivation. This is the first derivation, an important derivation. Okay, already we discussed one derivation previously, that is the first derivation, and this is the second derivation in this chapter. Okay, and third derivation is a cooling time constant derivation. Okay, this is the second derivation and cooling time constant is the third derivation. And first derivation is a intermittent loads. Intermittent loads. For intermittent loads, we are calculating motor final. Okay, we calculated a motor final temperature. Motor final temperature is a theta f into 1 minus e power minus T1 by tau h divided by 1 minus e power minus T1 by tau h plus T2 by tau c. This is the temperature, motor temperature for intermittent loads. What are the intermittent loads? Intermittent loads are the loads which varies according to the time. This is on time, next one is off time, next it is on time, off time, on time, off time. This is the intermediate loads. Okay, in intermediate loads power is same, P1, P1 and P1. Okay, see here, this is the intermediate loads. For intermediate loads power will be same. Okay, power P1, and in next condition also power P1, sorry, here also power P1. Okay, next one is also power P1. Then it is called intermittent loads. If these powers are varying, these are called continuous variable loads. Continuous variable loads. If powers are varying, then it is called continuous variable loads. If powers are constant, then it is called intermittent loads. Okay, intermittent loads. Okay, this is the class for today. Okay, for in next class we discuss about these two derivations. Okay, these two derivations and a problem on this derivation. Okay, okay, thank you all. హలో, ఒక 1 minute ఉండండి, నేను అటెండెన్స్ తీసుకుంటాను. అటెండెన్స్ తీసుకోలేదు ఇంకా. ఓకే, 1 minute.